Welcome back, guys. This is Jason, KM4ACK. Today, I'm going to show you how to automate daily backups on your Raspberry Pi. Stick around and we'll get right to it. Before we jump into today's content, I've got to give a shout out to these guys. They're my latest patrons over on Patreon. Patrons enjoy exclusive behind-the-scenes content, early access to many of the YouTube videos, and priority email support. If you'd like to help support the channel, I'll leave a link to Patreon down in the description below. So if you've been around the channel for very long or followed many of my tutorials, you'll hear me often say, back up your Pi before you do this. And the reason that we like to do that is just so we don't have to completely start over should something go astray. It gives us an easy place to jump back to and try whatever we were doing again. Well, and I still highly recommend that. However, I started looking around for something that would do automated daily backups or nightly backups, whichever you prefer. But I wanted that to happen on a daily basis with zero interaction from me. Now, this won't replace a full backup. It's only meant to back up your home directory or maybe some other directories that you choose. But let's go ahead and take a look at how we get that installed and configured today. First, let's open up the terminal window and let's run sudo space apt-get install rsnapshot. And we'll go ahead and press return. It'll ask you if you want to continue. We'll say yes and give it just a second to finish installing. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we need to know the name of our external drive. Now this is why I recommend using thumb drives, those little slimline thumb drives with your Raspberry Pi, is it gives you a place to store things like backups. In this case, I didn't have an extra slim thumb drive, so I used what I had on hand and connected up this old hard drive to the Raspberry Pi. But we need to know the name of that. We're going to do that with the ls command, so let's run ls space /media/pi. Now, what it returns, as long as you've only got one thumb drive or one hard drive plugged up to the USB ports, what it returns right here is the name of our drive. So we're going to need this information here in just a second. Now I'm going to leave this screen right where it is and open another tab on my terminal by pressing Control, Shift, and T. Inside this new tab, let's move to the etc directory with cd space /etc. And now we need to edit the configuration file for rsnapshot. Let's use sudo nano rsnapshot.conf. We'll press return. And let's start scrolling down in this file. What we're looking for is this line right here that says snapshot_root. I'm going to jump back to that other tab that we left open. And right here, I'm going to copy this file name. Now yours may not be quite this long, but whatever it is, we'll need to copy that. We also need to note right here that it's in media pi. So let's jump back to the configuration file. And on this line, snapshot_root, we're going to take all of this out. We're going to say /media/pi/ and then I'm going to paste in that file name that I copied. Now let's continue on down the file. And we're looking for this section right here that says backup points /scripts. I'm going to come down. Now I'm going to comment out the second two, but I'm going to leave this one uncommented. This just says that we want to back up our home folder and we're going to put it in a directory called localhost, which is fine. I'm going to press Control X, Y, and Enter to get out of this. Okay, and before we continue on, let's do a quick test to make sure that our configuration file syntax is all correct. Let's run rsnapshot space config test, all one word, and go ahead and press return. And you should see syntax OK. Now, if you get something different, you'll have to go back in and double check your work, make sure you didn't make any mistakes in that. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Now let's open up this drive and you'll see that I have absolutely nothing on the drive. So I'm going to go ahead and start the first backup by running sudo rsnapshot space alpha and go ahead and press return. Now this is going to take a little bit to run on the first time, even though I'm running this on a clean Pi with just a basic Build-A-Pi script installed. It does take a little while to run the first time. They get quicker after the first one, so the next ones don't take quite as long. But it does look like that's finished up. So let's go ahead and open back up that hard drive again. And you'll see we have this new directory called Alpha 0. Now each day as these run, you will see new folders, and it will create up to 5 folders. So Alpha 0, when the next one runs, will become Alpha 1, and the new Alpha 0 will be the most current backup that it's done. And it stores 5 days worth of backups on your external device. If we open this up, you'll see the localhost folder that I was referring to in the configuration file. If we click into that, you'll see my home directory and then my Pi directory. I'm still running as user Pi on this. And you'll see a complete list of all of the files that are in my home directory. So now that we've got this up and working, let's go ahead and automate it so that it runs on its own every single day. So we'll close out of that. To automate this process, we're going to use something called cron. So in your terminal, run cron tab space -e. Go ahead and press return. Now if this is the first time you've ran cron, you will need to choose your editor. I use Nano here. So we'll choose 1 and go ahead and press enter. This will open up your cron tab, and we're going to just come to the very bottom. Now the first line here, I'm going to start with the # or the hashtag, depending on your age, I suppose. And we'll just put daily backup. That's just a comment to tell me what the next line is for. Now I want this backup to run every morning at 4 a.m. So I'm going to enter 00 for my minutes. I'm going to give a space, and then I'm going to say 04. Now this is a 24-hour clock. So if you wanted this at 4 in the afternoon, you would put 16 here. Let's give it another space, and we're going to start giving stars. So we need 3 of these and a space in between. So star, space, star, space, star. Let's give it one more space, and then let's enter /usr/bin /sudo space r snapshot space alpha. So double check your work closely here. You've got the minutes in this column with a space. You've got the hour, space, and then 3 stars with a space in between each of those stars. And then finally, your command to automate the process. Let's press Control X, Y, and Enter to get out of it. And that's it, guys. You're done. Now, every morning at 4 o'clock on my particular system, I would get a new backup run. Before you head off, I do want to show you what the second backup would look like. So we'll just go ahead and manually run it again right now real quick. Sudo space rsnapshot space alpha. And we'll go ahead and press return and give that just a second. You'll notice that one was a lot faster to run. Let's take a look at the hard drive again. And now you see that we have 2 directories, Alpha 1 and Alpha 0. Alpha 1 is an older backup, and Alpha 0 is the backup that we just ran. So once you have this installed and configured, you can see that it's just going to generate a daily backup of your files for you. You could also include other directories if you wanted to, but this gives you a current copy of everything in your home folder. Now, should something go wrong with your SD card, you could revert to a backup and then update any of your files out of your home directory that might not have been included on your last full backup. So again, this doesn't replace your full image of your disk, but it's just something supplemental to help make sure we don't lose any documents. All right, guys, I hope you found this helpful. We will see you guys on the next video. Be sure to give us a thumbs up before you head off. Until then, 7-3.